All right, LDMMAC, this is your boy, the Coach live on the Coach Show, live. Okay, guys, please forgive the background noise. Let's get right into it. Okay, so there, Dana White, the UFC, and Francis Ngannou, they're in heavy talks, okay? I'm going to tell you the real reason why Ngannou won't take this contract. And also, something that the news ain't telling you. And also, what is it going to take to get him signed? What's the ball figure, okay? Well, there are a couple of things going on. Okay, Dana White, they're trying to get Ngannou to re-sign his contract. They want him to do it. Ngannou is very reluctant to sign the contract because Ngannou was complaining about his last fight pay against Cyril Gane, where, he made a base pay of $600,000. And Ngannou, he's been vocal about that. Now, and I've always said that Ngannou probably got a little bit more money, depending upon the pay-per-views, or if he didn't get pay-per-view points. I mean, we don't know like the very specifics of his contract. And maybe he didn't get any pay-per-view points. Maybe he just took a flat fee. I mean, we don't know. But, I tell you this, he's not happy about the contract. Guys, if you've ever read a UFC contract, the one that I had a privilege to read, it was very specific. Even on down to like stuff like the video game, like how much are you gonna make like per video game sale if they use your likeness? And it's some small number, man. Like these people, they don't make a lot of money when their likeness is in a video game. They don't make a whole lot of anything. And it's kind of crazy, man, but it's like a really minute number. So if you're one of the top stars, you're gonna make a pretty good amount of money on video games. But if you're one of the people like on the early prelims, you ain't making no money on the video games. Not much. Then too, they also have stuff to where like if somebody wants to hire you for a commercial, well, you can't just go do the commercial. Like the UFC, they have to do the negotiating. Like you have to negotiate with the UFC, and the UFC, they're gonna get their cut, and then you get what's left over. Like I found that kind of crazy. Like any business venture you have, just about the UFC is gonna be a part of it. They're gonna be a part of it. So it's almost like you sign that contract and you're like a damn indentured servant. Like you just, no matter what you do, you got to report to the UFC. And I found that's the damnest thing I ever seen. Like, that's a strange contract. But now we know why the UFC, they stay in business so long. Okay, they've got everything in there, like how many pay-per-view points you got. And see, when you sign a contract, people don't know that they don't negotiate your money fight by fight. They don't negotiate how much money you're going to make per fight. That's a huge misconception when it comes to a UFC contract. Fighters already know how much money they're gonna make for the first fight in their contract, the second fight, and the third fight. They already know. Okay, it's already written there, so they know what they're gonna make. So this is not anything like new to them. Okay, before they even put their name on the dotted line, Ngannou knew that he was gonna make a base pay of $600,000. He already knew it. Okay, but when Ngannou actually started looking at like how much he really worth, he began to question the validity of that contract. And I don't blame him, don't blame him. But there's always been a little rule with fighters. And I've had some fighters tell me this, okay? Don't sign a UFC contract and then complain about the money. Okay, don't do it. Don't, even Dana White has said this. He was like, hey, don't sign this contract and then you start complaining about the money. Because you already know what the contract is before you put your name on the line. It is. So Ngannou, okay, he's not putting his name on the dotted line. Smart. But this contract has to include a fight with Tyson Fury. Has to. If this fight will not include a fight with Tyson Fury, Ngannou, he's not going to resign, and he's just going to go and make that Tyson Fury money. That's what he's going to do. He's going to go off, and he's going to make the money with Tyson Fury. And which I don't blame him because, it's reported, man. Well, not reported, but there's a rumor. Okay, a rumor in the boxing world. And, you have guys that they understand fight purses, and I've been listening to a couple of these guys, and they're saying that Ngannou can make, upwards of $10 million or more. Now, guys, you have to really look at that dollar figure. I mean, you have to look at that. Like, come on, $10 million for 36 minutes if he go all 12 rounds. And if he get knocked out in 4, well, 12 minutes. Okay, $10 million for that amount of time, that's a sick amount of money. And they're saying in upwards between 5 to 10 million. Do you know, man, if he makes, $10 million, and it's not my money, I'm just trying to tell you the business part of it, that he'll probably keep about 4 to 5 million of it, okay, when he pays taxes and pay his people. He don't get that much take-home pay when he paid, fight, in a fight. I remember Floyd Mayweather used to say all the time, these guys don't get over $200,000. And then I would look at this, and I was very ignorant. I said, yeah, but his purse said he made about 500,000. But then when I started thinking about, oh, I know what Floyd meant. Floyd meant taxes. Like after the taxes are gone, that's what you get to keep. So, it kind of dawned on me, okay, I can't be this stupid in life for real. But anyway, so that's the business part. And also, okay, Ngannou also wants guaranteed, like he wants his pay-per-view points, okay, to be higher. He wants a higher percentage of the pay-per-view points. Now, with that, with the UFC, I kind of see where they're coming from. If you don't put enough asses in the seats, or if you don't, have enough, if you don't put enough asses in the seats, and if you're not a draw, okay, then they're going to rebuke that. Well, he's not really a draw. I think Ngannou is slowly becoming a draw, and I think that he's there. I think that definitely if he fights John Jones, that fight will be big, and I think him and John Jones could probably do 1 million pay-per-views. I think they could. But the UFC, in their defense of that, pay-per-view points, well, you got to be a draw, But Ngannou won enough pay-per-view points. This last contract that they want him to sign, this is going to be Ngannou's retirement contract. A lot of people didn't know, okay? But this is Ngannou's retirement run, okay? Fighting Tyson Fury is a fantasy fight to make him some money, okay? And then the UFC paychecks would just be like, that's it. That's just added collateral damage for his career and for everything else. So Ngannou wants the contract. Now, from what I've heard, Francis Ngannou, okay, he's not going to sign any more contracts with a base pay of $600,000. He's not going to do it. The base pay got to go up. Now, I don't know how the UFC, the UFC, they're really, really, like, they're tight, man. They don't budge. The UFC, they're sticklers. They don't budge anything. They don't budge for anything. They pretty much stick to their guns. They did, though, they budged when they came to Chris Cyborg and Holly Holm, because both Chris Cyborg and Holly Holm, they weren't going to fight if the UFC didn't, pay them what they were. They were trying to pay them, like, both of them, like, $150,000 for that fight. Chris Cyborg and Holly Holm laughing at them like, I'm not finna fight for that, You had Jorge Masvidal, who got a contract negotiation. When he figured out that this fight with Colby Covington was going to be bigger than what it was, he knew that he was worth more, so they renegotiated his contract. But, really, there's not a lot of times when the UFC is physically going to do that. There's not a lot of times. A lot of times they just be like, okay, you fight out your contract, or if you don't, we're going to put you on the shelf. And that's another thing, too. When you don't see a fighter for a long time, okay, and if there's no injury, this fighter, they violated the contract. And, Dana White, they nasty, man. When you don't show up to a fight that you're supposed to fight, they real nasty, man. Like, your ass will be sitting at home for 6 months. You don't get to eat. And then on top of that, if you're sitting at home for 6 months, okay, then even if you wanted to do some other business venture, you still can't do that. You can't do that because the UFC, they have to negotiate stuff. They have to be a part of the business process. Now, you can go get a regular 9 to 5. You can go get one of them kind of jobs. You can go get one of those kind of jobs, and the UFC don't have to be a part of that. But I'm talking about, like, if somebody else is trying to sponsor you and pay you dollars based off the sponsorship and that kind of stuff, yeah, the UFC, they're gonna take some of your bread. They're gonna take it. Now, see, people don't understand why Ngannou just won't sign the contract. Well, I mean, it's like, people are stupid when it comes to other people's money. People are stupid when it comes to other people's money. But see, people don't understand that Ngannou is rich, okay? But Ngannou wants to be wealthy. See, that's the difference. People don't get that Francis Ngannou, he's rich. But Ngannou wants to be very wealthy. He wants to be a wealthy man. He wants to, be able to retire. Ngannou also wants to, start some businesses over in Cameroon. Okay, he wants to be, lucrative. He wants to have businesses over there. He's got a few over there right now, but Ngannou wants to have many, many businesses over there. So he's got to take this money. Okay, he got to take it, and he's got to make as much as he can. Because I think he was saying something too about like how American dollars over there, you can do more with American money over there. Where he's from, I can't remember the interview, and I forgot what kind of businesses he's trying to get a hold of. But if I'm not mistaken, maybe somebody can correct me. I know Ngannou wanted like a hotel, and he wanted a promotional company. I think those are the two. I think he wanted a hotel and a promotional company. That's what I remember. And he entitled to that bag. He entitled to that bag. That's the bag he wants. You can't blame him, man. You can't blame the man. You know, you can't fight forever, man. And I tell y'all this story about these fighters, man, that they 42 or they 45 years old, and they just don't have enough nickels to rub together. I mean, seriously, they spent their whole career on the fight camps and this stuff, so they don't have any money. A lot of these fighters, guys, y'all see that y'all think they're okay. A lot of these fighters broke. A lot of these fighters are broke, man. They broke. When they hit their 40 something and they can't fight no more, and the UFC, they don't want you no more. They don't want you when you old and beat up and decrepit, and your bones are just man. They don't want you, and they do everything to get you out so they can bring in the new guns. You've heard Dana White always say, "Hey, this is a young man sport. We don't have time for any guys that's older. No, this is a young man sport, and young men only can do this sport. The old guys, if they can show that they can no longer produce and do what they got to do," he was like, "Man, we move them out." I've heard Dana White actually say this. So they don't want you. So, and then when you can't even afford to do shit anymore, you can't afford to do shit. You're in constant pain every day. You're in a constant state of self-perpetual hell. Is where you at. Excuse me. And Ngannou understands, man. He understands the risk. He understands what it is. So, yeah, this man has seen so many other fighters. He's seen so many other fighters, man. He's seen a bunch of these fighters that people forget about. Hell, there's some fighters right now that y'all can name that they're old and out of the picture, and they doing all kind of crazy stuff to earn money for a living. Cause I'm sorry, nobody does MMA for the hell of it. Nobody do it, bro. When I tell you, nobody does MMA for the hell of it. It's too brutal to do it for fun. It's too brutal. You can't do this, man, until you're 50. And most people don't last till they're 40. Most people barely even make it to 35. Your average years in MMA is 2 to 3 years. That's what it is. It's 2 to 3 years, but, I hope the brother get what he's looking for. I hope that brother Ngannou get what he's looking for. Hope he can get that bag.